What is going on, everybody? Welcome into Clear the Ice, the Flyers postgame show right here at Edge of Philly Sports. I'm Big Al Zafiri alongside Pat from Ambler, a.k.a. the Gobbler, a.k.a. the Meatball, whatever you
Oh,
want to call it. Yeah.
I
The
love
Mayfair
putting
Meatball,
meatballs
the
in my
Mayfair
face.
Meatball. All
Yeah.
right, guys, welcome in. I'm going to pretend like I didn't hear that. Move forward. I don't even have a coffee to hold up to tell you I ain't ready for that one. But guess what, guys? Flyers, they fall in overtime 3-2. Get that much needed point, but fail. Little action at the end, but not enough to take the win and get the 2 points, but enough to salvage something out of this. Pat, what's going on, brother?
Again, Torella going with a bold move by sitting Couturier for the second straight game in a row. Off the bat was my notes. Off the bat saying why, and there's reasons why the questions are there for you. The answers, I should say, are there for you because this team is gelling a lot better. And I know people don't want to hear that because it's the great Coots, but this team is gelling a lot better with fresh young legs going against these top tier teams. Against you saw what they did against Toronto. Again, you take this Carolina team who they played all year, who usually get walled by. Well, they take this Carolina team down to the wire with fresh legs, like a Bobby Brink who wins battles against the boards against this team. This team is sufficiently better without those veteran players. And I know people are not, like I said, are going to give me the works for it. It's okay. I'm willing to take it. But yeah, nonetheless, this Flyers team falls short in the overtime. Just did not have what it took to get the dub. But you know what? The overtime point is I'll take that. I'll take something out of nothing.
Joe Hal chiming in here. What's going on, Joe? Tough loss, absolutely tough loss. I don't know, but it's 6:30 p.m. and I'm pumped for a game. Even though I think Rod will be wiping the floor with our asses. That's Steve chiming in, and he's talking about Rod Brindamore, former Flyer, the coach of the Hurricanes. So I'm not. It wasn't didn't wipe the floor with us. They were 2-1 coming into it, two to the Hurricanes. One win on the season, but ultimately the season is done unless they see each other in the playoffs for the Flyers and Hurricanes, and it'll be a 3-1 Canes take the season series, of course. Couple facts on the night. Today was a happy 36th birthday for Eric Johnson, who not really saw points on the board, but you saw his defense come into play. Huge baseball slide, saving what would have been the first go-ahead goal for Carolina. So that was his big add-on to the night, I guess you want to call it. But so Eric Johnson, happy 36th birthday. 6th game as a Flyer, one of the newcomers here, and filling in for our depleted defenseman. But how about that save? I mean, you're talking about an inch difference. The way he slid into that, he looked like he was trying to steal home. What do you think there, Pat?
And again, who is Eric Johnson, right? This is what I love about Briere and Keith Jones. They find these guys who none of us would even write down, like I said, through the big question, but they find guys who can play. And again, 36-year-old, right? Who's like, oh, who wants a 36-year-old here, right? But this kid, Eric Johnson, knows how to put his bodies on the line. He knows how to make great saves and try and save the game. Again, you don't have Nick Wheeler. But guess what? He's making up for those plays. He's making up by making those diving plays and making sure nothing goes across the goal line. I love what I see from that guy.
Yeah. Ryan Palin came in. Last time you saw Carolina's netminder, Frederick Anderson, he had a hat trick and a game-winning goal against him. I believe that's how he started his NHL debut. So not exactly the same night from tonight, but it's kind of hard to live up to that once you hit it pretty quickly. But let's jump into it. I'll remind you before we get into our coverage here that this show is brought to you by Sherry'sTickets.com. That's right, Sherry'sTickets.com. Family owned and operated since 1946. Sports, concerts, theater, you name it, they got it. Great prices, no hidden fees. You can use the other guys, but guess what? You're going to get bamboozled at checkout there, Pat from Ambler. But you can also save an additional 10% off great prices by using that great promo code EOP10. That's right. EOP10 will save you 10% off at the already great prices at Sherry'sTickets.com. Again, EOP10. 10% off at sherrystickets.com. So let's jump into this first period. And from a scoring aspect, there isn't really much to talk. There was no score. Well, technically,
No.
there was scoring. So let's talk about. There was a goal which looked like Flyers up, 1-0. But it was unfortunately turned over due to an offsides call on Travis Konechny. Owen Tippett was able to tag the goal, but of course, it was over because somebody had been on seeing Konechny was offsides right prior to the goal, which kept the game knotted up at 0-0. Pat, um, you know, this is the period we saw. Just mentioned just recently, Eric Johnson with that baseball type slide. Sam Erston kind of saved his own bacon at one point. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
Behind the
Yeah.
net, trying to feed the pass, turned it over, but was able to scoot in front of that net again and stop what Brendan Lemieux thought was going to be an easy stat pattern for him. Did not end up that way. Ends the first all knotted up, still at 0, no goals. Shots on goals favor Carolina 9-8.
Mm.
What were your takeaways from that first period, Pat?
The first period was absolutely, like I said, great defensive game. I get it. They were trying to pick their shots. It looked like Owen Tippett finally found the back of net that kind of set the tone of the game. But unfortunately, things got, listen, and good job by Brendan for calling the offsides, coach, using his coach challenge and which brought it back. But yes, but other than that, I thought it was a good, solid defensive game on both, on both goalies. And like you said, Sam Harrison kind of got himself out of the net. It looked like he was going to set himself for harm, but what he did was wound up making a one-handed glove off of foreign flyer Brandon Lemieux. So good stuff. What I saw out of him, and again, good solid defense on both sides from that Hurricane team and the Flyers.
Yeah, my article will be out right after this game. And the one thing I'll say in the first, I saw a lot throughout the game, but especially in the first period, and will be kind of the theme of my article, will be missed
Here.
opportunities. Flyers missed opportunities was a big problem in the first. We talked about Sam Harrison and Eric Johnson being doing very well and being able to save some bacon. But there was a missed opportunity on the 3-on-2, or I'm sorry, a 5-on-3 advantage, and the Flyers did not take advantage of that opportunity, which they should have. It was there for the taking. They did not take it, and ultimately ended up burning them, or will end up being the reason they gets burnt a little bit into later in this game, which we'll talk about. Roll on to the second period. It changed a lot. Everybody changed big time from an offensive standpoint. No goals in the first, 3 goals in the second, 2 of them for the Canes. And the first one came from the Hurricanes was Jordan Martinook. There was a turnover with 3-on-2 for the Canes. Jordan buries it and then puts Carolina up about a little less than 4 minutes into the second period. 1-0 Carolina takes the lead. Assists come to Nikas and Pesci. But Scott Lawton and the Flyers weren't really having that very much. It only took about 25 seconds later for the Flyers to respond back with a goal of their own. In this one, Scott Lawton gets out in front. Why Bobby Brink in this goal? A lot of it, he might get the assist in my eyes. This is a big on. This was a big reason on Bobby Brink here. Bobby's battling it up against the wall there, battling on the boards. He's able to fight it off, pass it in the middle of the ice to Farabee, who just dinks it over to Lawton. Lawton has the space in front of it and buries it glove side to Frederick Anderson as he's going left, as Lawton's going left. You watch Anderson just slide to the right, leaving that net wide open for Scott Lawton, giving them the tie game just 25 seconds later after their first initial goal from Jordan Martinook. And that would be the Flyers' lone goal of the period, but not the lone goal for Carolina. Carolina would step it up again with about a little bit more than halfway through the second period. Jalen Chatfield just rips a laser, a one-timer, almost from the blue line right past Sam Erison. The assists go to Aho and Orlov. Um, Sam Erison just didn't see this one. Went right by him. That's how much. That's how fast it came, and that's how it was. It just he could not see him, and it really wasn't being blocked too much. This one was a little bit on Sam Erison, but this was a laser that really just took him by surprise and put Carolina up to 2-1, and that would be the last goal scored of the second period. Also, I want to mention that with the Scott Lawton goal, the Cisco to Bobby Brink and Joel Farabee, which also would be Joel Farabee's 100th career assist. So, the little something about their little history making there for Joel Farabee. Also, Joel Farabee will be injured later into the period, about for a little less than 3.5 minutes. He'll take a puck that deflected off a stick towards the side of the head, but of course he's okay at this point. And the definitely shots on goal favored Carolina 14 versus the Philly 8. Still some missed opportunities, and kind of a theme that this Flyers team has been having against these tougher teams, like not being able to bury two-man advantages. I mean, I think they're 0 on all their power play opportunities against Carolina this year. And as we know, they're low man on the totem pole on the power play as it is in the NHL. So that's what I'm talking about, missed opportunities. One of the many missed opportunities. There is a lot of times you could have seen things definitely go the other way in this situation. And, listen, some missed calls on both sides as well from the refs, but ultimately missed opportunities again. But that would end the second period 2-1 Carolina. Pat, I just went over the goals from you. What was your takeaway from that second period?
So when I looked at the second period, I thought again, the Flyers, Carolina would score, the Flyers would answer right back. I mean, boom, Scott Lofton, again, just the way they're playmaking. The only problem I have with the Flyers, though, especially in that second period, they're leaving that middle, their defensive zone wide open. I mean, that's where Carolina was making their money. And again, kind of hits that little, you see, Yahoo, who is a playmaker. We all know that. Kind of shoots it back to Littlefield, and he was wide open center field, and he makes a nice little wrister. But again, wait for the Flyers to kind of respond. Every time they would punch us, we kind of gave it to them back. So, and that's what I love. That's like I said, I need to see more Bobby Brink in this lineup because, like I mentioned to you earlier, winning battle boards against this Carolina team, this tough Carolina team, it's not often happen. And then for him to find Scott Lofton down the other side, making a long stretch pass to Scott Lofton finding it back in the net, it was really something nice. Again, really, really sharp throughout this game. Again, keeping the fresh young legs to be able to compete with the top tier teams is really going to help you some. And you sold that through that second period.
Yeah, absolutely. It was that play was set up. That was masterfully set up. And like I said, Bobby Brink definitely earns the most kudos on that one. For the most part, he if it wasn't for his battling, that would have never been set up in any which way. But Flyers would still be down 2-1 going in the third. And I want to remind you that even though sometimes you get robbed in sports, and sometimes things don't go your way, so life doesn't always go your way. Workers' comp, motor vehicle, personal injury, and criminal law, cherryinjurylaw.com. You go to David R. Cherry for all your legal needs. Workers' comp, motor vehicle, personal injury, and like I said, criminal law. cherryinjurylaw.com. You call David R. Cherry at 610-565-0300. cherryinjurylaw.com. Workers' comp, motor vehicle, personal injury, criminal law. cherryinjurylaw.com. Call David R. Cherry now.
Yeah, so what else? I
Yeah.
just want to. Sebastian Yahoo would find Jalen Sheffield again. Just kind of like you said, the plays that they were making, like I said, just were able to find one another right over the middle of the ice where there was no one playing defense, and that's where they were making their money in that second period.
Yeah. Third period definitely much more in the Flyers' favor. Definitely saw the Flyers more in the most control they were in the entire game by period. You would go by the third period. And Travis Konechny he would score that lone goal in the third period, would tie this game up. But again, I got to give it more to Morgan Frost, who got the assist on it. Morgan Frost was
Yeah.
just pushing guys out of his way, clearing space in front of the net. Maybe could even been called for a penalty, but luckily for the Flyers, was not. And allowed Travis Konecny with a little wraparound goal to put it in net, tied this game up. And that would be it to tie the game up to send an OT. What was your thoughts on that goal there, Pat?
Again, Travis Connecting needs to get on the board, and again, this is what he does. He got again nice little wraparound, forcing the goal. Again, you're pushing offensive pressure on their goaltending, and that's what happened. They went up battling, getting their redeflects, rebound, offensive rebounds, and you found the back of the net. Good job, good work by the Flyers right there.
Yeah, absolutely good work by the Flyers. The assist would go to Frost, of course, and Owen Tippett. And it would send into OT. And before we get into OT, I want to mention that we have a new sponsor here at EOP Sports, and a sponsor to the Titans final, because Phillies start a week from today. Streetlight Kitchen and Bar at 5400 Fern Boulevard, Drexel Hill. Holiday Inn and Suites at the Drexel Brook Event Center. Great restaurant, great bar, and a great place to be. And we will be there. They're also one of the full-time sponsors of all the Titans finals post-game shows. But we will be hosting a pre- and post-game show on April 7th, starting at 11 a.m. at the Streetlight Kitchen and Bar, 5400 Fern Boulevard, Drexel Hill, PA, in the 19026. That's the Holiday Inn and Suites at the Drexel Brook Event Center. Not just for a great place to stay and a great place to throw big weddings and other major events. I've been there many times for these type of events. So, of course, they are the new sponsors to the Titans final, and can't wait to be there. Also on that day, Pat, you and Mike will be PM and the AM live that morning before the kickoff. So we'll be hanging out at the Streetlight Kitchen and Bar often that day and giving you guys the full tour of the great facility.
Yes,
so
the
let's
full
go.
Monty.
Yeah, we go. No, you're not allowed to do that there. Told you that. No. You're not serving cocktail wieners there, okay? So that brings us to OT. Of course, this is where it all kind of went bad for the Flyers. I mean, if you saw going into it, the Flyers are they were 4-5 in OT on the season, and Carolina was 5-2, so obviously much better in OT than the Flyers were this season. And again, it pays off in their favor. Seth Jarvis lands the wrister just about a minute and a half in OT. The 2-1 allows Jarvis to land the game-winning goal. This would be Seth's fifth game with a point. He's on a streak right now, which gives Carolina the 2 points, but of course, because it's OT, gives the Flyers the 1 point. I guess 1 point's better than no points, right, Pat?
Yeah, absolutely. And see, this is what the little things that are starting to worry me about Sam Harrison. Like I said, I know it's year one for him, a little bit more than that. And I know, hockey goaltenders get better as they mature. But there are signs that scare me about him. And when it gets down to pressure time, for this past year, in those big clutch games, he kind of have choked them. So that's what's kind of scared me about his game so far. But other than that, I mean, again, we're able to take this Carolina team down to the wire in OT. It's something special. So, like I said, this year you've been well up. That team has had your number all season long, and for you to battle back and go into overtime spoke volumes to me about this Flyers team.
Yeah, I mean the battling back is great, and 100% of 1 point's better than no points. You need as many points as you can get. We knew going into this gauntlet. I mean, you won the first game against who did we just play? Why am I completely? Toronto, the Maple Leafs. So that's a big 2 points against one of these tough games, because you still got the Bruins and the Panthers coming up this weekend. So you get 2 points in the first game, 1 point in the second game. Things are playing in your favor right now, knowing you're trying to control your destiny for your playoff run. Michael's chiming in here. Yeah, the bottom line is that they hung around the whole game with them. So they hung around the whole game with them.
Yeah.
So they might have not won the game. They have a point out of it overall, and it wasn't a bad game. They need to get back to work and just focus on the next game. Yeah, Mike, I agree with that. The one thing I could say take away is they play a little safe towards that end of the game, especially in the power plays. They're so afraid, I think, of turning that puck over in the power plays that they just play it too safe. I would like to see a little more aggression from them on the power plays, especially when it's getting
Yes.
later in the
Yes.
game and time is kind of slipping away from you. So
You
I
you
mean,
brought up you brought up the power play situation, and that's the part they. This is where that tells me, like I said, they're ahead of schedule, but they're not there yet because anytime you have a playmaker, they light the lamp, and this team not being so good on the power plays is worrisome. Again, tonight you had a two-man advantage, and you got nothing out of it. You had nothing. You didn't score anything. You got zilch. I mean, right there. I mean, you should have walked away at least with one goal, and you didn't. I mean, if they would have walked out with that, who knows? We could be talking about a whole nother game here.
yeah, absolutely. Um, it listen, I take what I can get and when I can get it. Especially, listen, this team, we keep saying, is playing way above where they expect them to be. I said during the last post game show, and I talked last night on Edge of Philly or on EOP Live and with Joe and Fred, and I said, listen, this team was 4%. They had it at 4% to make the playoffs this year. They were, I think Fred looked it up, and they were like 80-some% at this chance, even with this gauntlet in front of them. So that means a lot for the future. I know you're more worried about Sam Ersson than I am. I know Matty B is also a little on the edge with Sam Ersson, but I mean, I don't know how you gauge him totally. I mean, he's a rookie. On top of the fact that he's a rookie with a team that's hurting on defense. I mean, hurt,
Yes.
injured, lacking on defense, and I mean, playing well. I mean, I actually that last goal I put a little bit on the Flyers got caught off guard and it led a two on one advantage for Carolina and Seth Jarvis was able to bury it home, win the game for the Carolina at
So,
home.
my question to you is, what's your take so far? I mean, the head coach benching the captain of the team twice now. I mean, where? I mean, if he's not showing productivity, I mean, is he? Is this John Tortorella saying no one's above the bench?
Well, listen, there's been a lot of different takes on the benching of the captain. It would have been nice to see Coots out there, especially. I listen. I'm all about redemption in this sense. I've talked about in the past about other players and other sports. I don't mind the benching. I don't like the not putting him back out the next night to make up for it. I don't truly understand. I mean, did he do like what was the reasoning not putting him in tonight? Was because of some of the stuff that came out from his um
Press conference.
no, it was his manager. Like or agent, whatever you want to call him. Why was he benched for a second night? Like, fine, bench him the first night, let him watch, let him listen, we can win without you. Not saying that all the time, but now we need you to get mad and get it out there and play the style hockey we know you can play. I don't understand not putting him back. That one, I question that decision tonight.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, he might have an opportunity now. I mean, I saw Joel Farabee take a shot. That brought him down. I don't know if he's going to have to. He might have to take a day or two to really take a look at Joel Farabee. But I mean, he got waffled by a puck. But yeah, we're going to see. Where's Sean Couturier? And to me, it's just like, wow, why would you even bother putting him? Why would you even make him the captain at this point if you're just going to, you're pretty much going to be he's going to be one of your lackeys at this time. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's just like benching your star quarterback and putting a C on him. I
Well, I
mean, I
mean,
get
listen,
it.
the Eagles did it with Carson Wentz, back then, but I always disagreed with the one thing is they never put him back in to give him a chance to try again. Like Wentz or not like Wentz, but if you bench somebody, the whole point of benching somebody is to teach them a lesson, unless you're getting rid of them.
Yeah,
If you bench somebody, you bench them, and then you let them get back in there and prove their stuff. If they can't do it, then that's a different story. But I don't disagree with the original benching. I do disagree unless there's something I'm unaware of that with the continued benching, especially with this tough
Unless he
kind of game that they're
feels,
coming out.
like the product you have on the ice now is better what you had with him on the ice. I mean, um, it's just it could be just head and shoulders difference between the two guys. You got a couple comments coming in here. Uh, Jake Gonzalez going to win a second Stanley Cup. Great, wonderful, terrific. I don't know. Jake
He's going to win his.
Jake Gonzalez.
Okay, if that's what you think. All right,
Dubs. Yeah, well, I mean, how can you say that? I mean, Carolina's an okay team, but I mean, you still got the Rangers, Boston, there's Toronto. I mean,
it's a
those teams
pretty
are
bold.
dangerous.
It's not a bold
Yeah,
statement, but it's come on. There's still a lot of hockey to play, and we all know how hockey playoffs can go.
I feel like there's a Pittsburgh Penguin fan larking around here. Who's
Yeah,
trying
well,
to
making them make themselves feel better. But let's get into it real quick. I want to hit the box scores real quick before we move on, and then we'll do our stars of the game and we'll look around the league to see what the rest of the league's doing tonight. And with the playoffs coming and the standings are kind of very important right now.
March Madness.
So yeah, March Madness. Right now, let's look at it right now. Bobby Brink had 1 assist with 1 point. Travis Konechny, 1 goal with 1 point. Scott Lawton, 1 goal with 1 point. Morgan Frost, 1 assist with the 1 point. Owen Tippett, 1 assist, and Joel Farabee, 1 assist. Sam Erson was 26 for 29. He was 3 for 3 on the power play. He saved 30 of 33 shots and had a save percentage of .909 and played a total of 61 and a half minutes tonight. Yeah, we know. All right, listen.
Bring up the Penguin Crumb Bum. There he is. 1975.
Here, we'll give him his moment. Like, it makes him like, listen, I don't mind you being a fan, and if you're a fan of another team and you want to jump on and just see what's going on, I don't mind it. Hey, listen, you want to say what you want to say, that's fine. But if it makes you feel better that your Pittsburgh Penguins are sucking this year, that you got to bring up past stuff, go right ahead. Keep living in the past.
Yeah. I mean,
if it makes you feel better, I mean, that face is the face of only a Pittsburgh Penguin fan right there. I mean,
I'm telling you. Not Pirates, 1979.
Pirates, 1979. Dogs. All right. Oh man, Pittsburgh. But have at it, brother.
What's that sandwich they have out there? The
Pamani Brothers. That's garbage. It's garbage.
It's the worst burger I've ever had.
I don't even know. It's like a pastrami sandwich or something. I don't know. They put the fries on it because they only had so much time to eat their lunch, so they couldn't eat the fries separately.
You stay classy out there, guys.
Yeah. Have at it. But let's look at the game stats. Shots on goal, close but favored Carolina 33-32. Face-off percentage actually favored the Flyers 59, almost 56%. Power play of both teams were 0 for 3 for the Flyers, 0 for 2 for Carolina. Penalty minutes were 6 for Carolina, 4 for the Flyers. Hits favored the Flyers 17-15. Block shots favored the Flyers by far 27-16. Block shots are not Carolina's forte. Giveaways 3 for the Flyers, 4 for the Canes, and takeaways 9 for the Flyers and 4 for the Canes. And that will be your stat line for the night. Real quick, guys, remind you that Clear the Ice comes out after every Flyers game, and we have 2 more for you for this week.
Yes.
This Saturday, I'm back at it again with your other half, Pat. Other half of PM in the AM. Like, I don't get enough of you guys, but Saturday night, the Flyers take on the Bruins. Hopefully we see the Flyers Bruins what we saw at the end of the last game they played together, not so much the beginning of the last game. And then, of course, you will be joining. It will be the Mayfair Mafia will be taking on the Flyers versus Panthers. With Mayfair Meatballs or whatever you want to call you guys. But the Mayfair, you and Matty B on it for Sunday, and that will be kind of summing up this gauntlet we speak of so far. Let's look around the league here for a second. Let me pull this up, and I want to check the standings too with you. because you know what? It means something now. We're down to what? 13 more games? 12, 13 more games, is it, Pat?
Woo! Coming down to this.
So let the nitty to gritty, right?
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna come here because this is gonna give me the better scores here. Here we go. All righty. So right now, your finals are Rangers beat the Bruins 5-2. Of course, we did the Flyers just lost in OT, 3-2 the Canes. Red Wings beat the
Oh
Islanders
yeah.
6-3. That's important for us. Um, the Devils beat the Jets 4-1. The Blues beat the Senators 5-2. The Predators beat the Panthers 3-0. And still
Wow.
going on right now is the Sabres Oilers. They're about a little bit more than halfway through the second period, knotted up at 2-2. In the halfway through the first, Blackhawks and Ducks are scoreless, and just about the same amount of time uh, in the Canadians and the Canucks are tied up nothing. But the Canucks are on a power play in a 3-on-5 advantage. So
Wow. The
or five
Bruins won the
5-on-3 advantage. Yeah,
MSG. The Bruins won the
yeah.
MSG and just waffled them.
And for you you late night creatures of the night, you want to get some hockey in. The Kraken take on the Golden Knights at 10:30, and the Tampa Bay Lightning take on the Sharks at 10:30 as well. I believe that Kraken is the ESPN late night game, so there is that for you. And that is around the league tonight in a nutshell. So let's jump over to the standings right now. All righty. In the East, uh, in the East, in the Atlantic Division, of course, Boston is 1-2-3 with Boston, Florida, Toronto. We're still in the third, ranked in the Metro, with the Rangers in first, Carolina in third. The wild card sits with Tampa at 68, only 2 points behind us. Detroit tied. I'm sorry, not 2 points. 1 point ahead of us. Um, Tampa is Detroit. I mean, Detroit is 78 points at number 2 in the wild card, and Washington Capitals are 75. Those sneaky Capitals keep around them, and the Islanders are at 73 in the 4th wild card spot. So we will see where this takes us. But it is
That's
good.
it.
Listen, it's already playoff hockey right now for a lot of you're going to be seeing, Pat.
Yes. Yes, it is. I love it. Again, we have meaningful hockey here. Who would have thought, right? I kind of said this team was going to be sneaky good back in September. I thought they were going to hover around that 8 seed. They kind of passed my expectations on things. Again, just the way they're just grinding. And I know, like I said, a lot of people are not fans of the John Tortorella move. Mentioning the captain, I like it because he's trying to win with what he has and trying to again. I don't know if our contractor and whatnot, but to me he's pushing all the right buttons and he's getting the most out of what he sees fit, and he's going to fit. Hey, listen, I'm going to put my young guys in. The older guys are not producing, and I got to hold them accountable. Just like I'm going to hold anybody else accountable, and I'm going to shift the younger guys to get their licks in. So I like how they're doing things. And like you said, this is kind of that playoff atmosphere right now. So again, if the playoffs were to start today, we would be facing the Rangers.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is not enough hockey left to make it meaningful.
Oh,
And
love hockey.
that tonight, for those who are just joining us, the Flyers did fall to the Canes 3-2 in OT. Did get a point out of it, kept them honest a little bit. But guys, I remind you that also our boys at Dolan's Bar are throwing an amazing event on May 25th.
Yes.
If you haven't done it before, you need to be there. Wiffle Ball Madness. It's a Saturday. Mickey Morandini returns, and Mickey takes it serious. I love it, dude. It's such a good time. And this time, the Crucker, that's right, John Kruk will be joining them at Dolan's. So you guys have to come down to Dolan's. And guess what? EOP will be there live and broadcasting, of course, the amazing wiffle ball action with the Cruxer and Mickey Morandini. So come on out, come say hi to us, come get some pictures taken. They sign things. I mean, it is family friendly. Great food at Dolan's as always. Great drinks at Dolan's. PJ knows how to throw a good time. So come meet John Kruk, Mickey Morandini, and get a chance to play wiffle ball with the boys. So it is going to be an amazing time. And like I just said, That's right. EOP will be live broadcasting from there as well. So, a lot of stuff on the calendar moving forward. A lot of new things here at EOP. Really exciting stuff. Happy to have everybody on board. Pat just got done doing the attacking third for great Union soccer coverage. Follow somebody else, but for good, okay soccer coverage, you can follow Panopskin.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, check it out. Also, you can check out his articles at eopsports.com, as well as the many other articles that are put up there. A lot of newcomer faces you're going to be seeing up there as of real shortly. And my article will be up there about a few minutes after we get off the show because I got to just do the finishing touches on it. So, other than that, remember, guys, you got 2 more big games left this week. A lot of more big games left in the rest of the season, but 2 more this week. The Bruins and the Panthers. So hopefully they can get another win out of here somewhere. And to me, 1 out of 2 of these games come out with a win, and that's a huge, huge plus in this gauntlet for them. But Saturday you get the A team. Sunday you get the B team. And I'm Big Al.
And I'm Pat Bernard. But yeah, think about this, Al. Look at that list. You're right. Look at the games they played. Toronto, Carolina. They've now got 3 points out of that so far. So if they can make some noise again, if they walk out with, I don't know, 6, I'll be okay with that.
I say at least a win. If you get a win, that's 2 points. I'll
Yeah.
take 2
So
points.
right, you got 5. So again, out of this tough stretch, with what you have here, I'm fine with it. I'm really excited for Flyers hockey. Let's go.
Oh yeah, 2 point. I'll take 5 points any day of the week on this one. And also the fact is, this is. You look at this game, and even with how well they've been playing, you're looking for, but like, oh, that's an easy 0-4 for them. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'll
Mm-hmm.
take it. A lot to come. Oh, real quick before we forget, I'm gonna sign this off without something important. Pat Bernard, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay.
All right, Pat
I love
Bernard. Pat Bernard, give me your stars, your fire
I'm
stars of the game.
I'm gonna go star number 3, just because just made a huge impact on the game. Again, young kid. I love him. I love his games. Didn't think he needed any phantom time. Give me Bobby Brink again, winning the puck battles against the boards against this tough Hurricane team. Hung in there with those guys, and again, way to make that long stretch pass to Scott Lofton for him to find the back of the net. My second star of the night, give me Owen Tippett again, being a facilitator tonight. Again, kind of got things going for this Flyers team. I know he got the goal taken away, but again, this guy just all he knows how to do is just light the lamp. Again, just to me, if you had to go to 2 stars of this team, I know we all like our Travis Connected, but man, if he ain't the workhorse of this team, I'm going to give him my second star of the night, and of course, number 1, gotta go TK. Way to bring this game into overtime. I gotta go Travis Connecting, making that nice little wrist shot. Give me TK.
Yeah, I will agree with you on almost all of that. But Bobby Brink also started the game. I'm a big fan of the Bobby Brink. I know they felt he needed a little extra seasoning and during down in AAA or AAA down in the minors. But he battles. He's made mistakes. Listen, he's made mistakes, and I think that's more the reasoning for him going down there. But tonight was a big night on him. You might not have seen it on the stat sheet, but you saw it on the ice. So I'll agree with you. Sam Urson, this game could have been a lot different. I mean, a lot different if it wasn't for Sam Urson. But number 3, game tying goal. Going to go Travis Konechny on this one.
Yes.
Travis Konechny with a star next to it saying Morgan Frost for their, big, for his big battling in front of the net there. So I'm going to go Morgan or Travis Konechny on this one. Those are my 3 stars of the game. And as I look over, I'd be remiss to say that this is actually the 20th anniversary. But I feel old, Pat. 20th anniversary of the implosion of the vet.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I feel like, again, just getting out of high school or middle of high school and hearing about it. And yeah, childhood memories at the vet. You know what I mean? So yeah, 20 years today to see the legendary vet go down.
Yep. So, guys, thank you for joining us. He's Pat from Ambler. Check him out on Twitter, Pat for Ambler. If you just missed it tonight, you can check the podcast out shortly. He covered all the Union for all you soccer heads out there, MLS. He had Todd Lewis on from the Free Kick podcast, and as also a beat reporter for the Union and soccer as well. So check that out, guys. And he also will be in PM in the AM this weekend, as well as another Clear the Ice with Matty B and the Matty B connection on Sunday.
And it doesn't stop there because after that, again, guys, if you are going to the Wings game on Saturday night, I will be covering Philadelphia Wings.
Yeah, that's right.
You guys know this is they are in playoff mode, so they are one seed back from a wild card spot. They're in the 9th seed. So guys, maybe with your luck, you come down, check out the Wings game. Only $23. You can't hurt your pockets. Come down, check them out. Maybe they get a dub because you're there, and then boom, check me out all across all the time at 9 o'clock. Of course, tomorrow night, late night, overnight, I will do a Sixers post game show for all you Edge affiliate sports cats.
Other than that, Pat doesn't sleep much at night. So
No.
I will be back with Pat at PM in the AM on Sunday, as well as a post game show. Also, check out my articles and a lot of new things coming. We have a lot of new announcements coming along here at EOP, and you gotta buckle up because even Pat doesn't know them all yet. So it's going to be an interesting, good time. And also, speaking of announcements, I'd be again remiss to not to mention it because very proud of this. And I mentioned it last night on EOP Live, and we posted it on social media. But our boy Joey Wood here, part of which he'll be on tomorrow night for the Steel Steps podcast here, covering everything wrestling from independent wrestling around Philadelphia and beyond, as well as your bigger wrestling as the AEW and the WWE. But as you can see here, he will be the beat writer for Edge of Philly Sports, covering WrestleMania from the press box in Philly. Very excited. He already did the Royal Rumble from Tampa. Now this. He also put out a great article on EOPsports.com. You can check it out. There's a lot of wrestling going on around this WrestleMania event, not just for WWE, but a lot of the local indie people are putting out some great events before and around and after the event of WrestleMania. So if you're a wrestling nut, you could hit 10 different things and not put a dent in it. So go on, check out his article. He has a list of all the cool things going on. So check it out. Go to EOPsports.com, and congrats to Joey Wood for the hard work. Just a short time here at EOP, and now he's at WrestleMania. Can't beat that with a sharp stick, my friend.
No, you can't beat it at all.
Won't stop you from trying. Yes, let's go. And again, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Again, please stick by, and there'll be plenty tomorrow. Subscribe to YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, or go to EOPsports.com. You name it, they got it. Or we got it. Not they got it. We got it. So check it all out, guys. I am Big Al. He is Pat Bernard, and we are out of here.